We're back in Paulie's Wall of Fame. Now, what's up here, the story about the gorilla, the grape ape? What's with that?
Well, that's part of a great fight, too. I at one time owned the Dedham Canoe House, the last building left, and I restored that building, and back in, I think it was 1970, 72, and in doing all that, I had some neighbors living around the area that were against seeing the old canoe house come back and open up the Charles again. And like years ago when I grew up, we swam at the Charles. The bathhouse was at the Charles River, and the community house. And there was a beautiful boathouse there on the stretch of road. There's no buildings there now.
And Bob Hansen knows a lot about this.
Bob Hansen, yeah, he does. Matter of fact, he was the one that was always on my rear as to stop me from remodeling that building and putting it back into use and full use, where people could enjoy the river and canoeing and boating, which we do need. And the river is there; it's a beautiful river.
It's cleaning itself up.
Yeah, and we should use it. And so at that point in time, I had a pit bull at the time, and he was tied up to the boathouse outside the boathouse.
Before it was cool to have pit bulls, you were the trendsetter.
He was a good pit bull, and his name was Samson, and so he was chained to his doghouse, and of course there was a lot of harassment coming down with neighbors saying that the dog was going out and beating up their dog, anything to sort of stop me from doing this recreational place at the boathouse, which I was doing, as you read those articles. So one night while I was inside with some few, we had a gym inside there with the steam baths and everything there. And I was in there, I heard a noise. It was raining very badly out, and we heard a sort of a gunshot noise. We went outside, and the pit bull was shot, but we couldn't find him. He broke loose from the chain and ran off, and I called the police department. They brought the dog officer down. We searched. We couldn't try to trail the blood tracks, but due to the rain that we lost his track, he went into the woods. We never found him. So it became a big event in Dedham. As you see there, ex-fighter, pit bull gangland, you know, gangland style. So we held a town's meeting, and I told the people that for doing such a thing, whoever done this thing was awful. Disrespectable, and not only that, but cruel to what they did. So I told them that I was going to bring in a gorilla to be in front of the boathouse to guard the boathouse. And so this took off, and Channel 4 and Channel 7 and Channel 5 all called me up and wanted to come down and said, am I really...
Did they think it was a Sandinista soldier, that type of gorilla? Or?
No, they thought I was going to get a real gorilla and have it at the boathouse. And so I told them, yes, I got a gorilla, and it'll be down the boathouse. So we gave them a time and day that the gorilla would be there, as you see in these articles. And so I went and got a good friend of mine who was big as a gorilla. His name was Tom McNeeley, fought for the championship of the world. And we got a gorilla costume, and I dressed him up in it. And so people flocked the boathouse and on the bridge. And
with bananas?
Oh, well.
They went bananas.
Some had some bananas. We slipped on that peel, I'll tell you that. But there was over 10,000 people there the day we were going to bring the gorilla out with a chain. And so all the TV cameras were there, 4 or 5.
Arthur wasn't involved with this. It was Paulie.
Arthur was standing right there. Yes, he was there, trying to get his face in on that camera, you know. So they say, when you're taking that the gorilla out, Paul? I said, I'm taking him out now. And then I had this chain on around Tom McNeeley with the costume, and I'm pulling him out the door.
And during that era, Tom McNeeley should have had a chain around him, right?
During that era, he should have had a chain around him, is right. But Tom's a great guy and a great friend. I didn't mean that, Tom. But so I'm pulling him out, and Tom comes out, and people started to jump back, and then he started shadow boxing, you know, a little bit, and then the place went into a roar, and they were selling balloons and everything there that day, and of course. The hoax was all on them anyway. We lost the pit bull, but we got 10,000 people to show up at the boathouse, and the gorilla will always wonder who was in that costume. So I had a letter sent to me in the mail and says, I heard that gorilla answers to the name of Uncle Tom, which meant Tom McNeeley. That's who the gorilla was there.
Pete, do you want to do the Sonny Liston photographs? That's great. That was a great story, Paul.